Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Braven, and I know I just recorded a video of this for 30 minutes and I didn't like it. So I'm doing this again. Anyways, I'm tired. Bear with me. We're going to be talking about THX Spatial, and we're just going to run you through on maybe troubleshooting your problems and addressing things, and then we're just going to walk you through on a baseline setup, so that way the people asking questions about what about this, what about that, I'm going to just walk you through on how to do it and what to do real quick. Nothing crazy. We're just going to get you through to help you out. If you're new here, I am an esports competitor and content creator, razer affiliate. That's why I'm here to help you guys as best as I can with what I've done in research. I am going to update you guys on what's going on real quick, though. I do not have my Huntsman Mini active right now because I found out it has a driver bug, and that is frustrating quite a bit, but it's something that I'm glad I caught and I could easily fix myself, or I could just take it to Razer, get the warranty done, and just have them just replace a new one. Most likely I'll do the Razer route just because, you know, having a newer product just probably feels a lot better anyways. All that wear and tear is just now replaced entirely too, so I might do that route entirely because it is under warranty. But that was causing a Windows issue on startup, and I've been having that for months now, so I never knew it was the keyboard. It's crazy. Never would have assumed it was that. So if you're having any kind of issue like that, you might want to check your keyboard. But the other issue too is I've been using the Black Shark V2 wired. It's the headset works fine. Everything's good about it. It's what's bugging me is that Synapse is not catching, and this is what happens with beta software. It just sometimes has issues like this, but my beta software, that is Synapse, is not helping me, and I've been really frustrated with trying to get that Black Shark V2 wire or V2 Pro working again, or able to be registered on Synapse so I could play with audio EQ, but it's just not happening, and it's been fighting me to the core, and it has been frustrating. But I am in contact with Razer about why the hell it's happening and how do we fix it. That I've done everything I possibly can to fucking try to fix it, and it's just not working. So very frustrating indeed, but not to fret, because this is why you buy, you know, an extra set of something just in case. And the Black Shark V2 wired has been literally fucking amazing, and I still love this headset like I loved it since day one. It's literally been the best headset I've ever owned, and the reason why I'm gonna walk you through all this stuff, because I noticed that in a lot of the comment section on older videos especially, that you guys are having some frustrating issues come up and you're not understanding how to work the troubleshooting part of it. But let me tell you something. Watch all the THX Spatial videos first in my profile. I'll probably put it in a playlist, so it's just a little easier. You can skim through it and just, you know, fast forward, whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to help you best as I can, but you got to watch those videos, get get a starting point on everything, you know, get a starting point on EQ for the V2 Pro that I did have before. You could still probably use that EQ. I'm sure it's still fine. Just play with it yourselves until it's perfectly adjusted. But just start with those videos and then come back to this video. After that, we could begin and talk about how I set up everything. So let's get over to Razer Synapse, and then from there we're gonna get your setup and troubleshooting. So let's hope it works, huh? Hopefully for you. Anyways, so I have it already set up on mic. Again, this is just a baseline mic for the V2 wired, but we're walking you through this real quick if you haven't seen this already in an older video. Just this is probably not even a baseline, because mic is literally all about your voice and how your voice is going to sound, but this is what I use voice gate up to 70. I use volume normalization up to 70, mic volume 100, and the mic monitoring side to 100 so I can hear myself talk. But this is what I use because I feel like my voice is like more along the mid line, where it's like mids are pretty good, so I kind of keep it balanced and just let it be natural. But then as soon as like I get to a higher high, if I talk really high, then obviously I want it to be a little bit more pronounced with the EQ on the highs. And then the lows, obviously, because when I'm talking like more of a calmer talk or whatever, I want my bass to be a little bit more punchy. So that's why I have it up like this. But let me tell you right now, this is not for everybody because everyone's voice is different. And this is your headset's mic too, but I'm not using that. What you're hearing right now is through this. There is no EQ setup for the Siren Mini, so don't worry about it. But for this is just to help you out with that. We're gonna walk you through real quick with what I have as a baseline, because again, once we figure out the V2 Pro setup, then we could actually go into games and whatnot and test it. But right now we're just testing based off of literally like going into audio and making profiles through the V2 wired, but it's just taking time. So patience is key, please. Other FPS, that's why I labeled it other FPS. I've shown you guys this before in video. It's the same thing, but the reason why I wanted to go through this again is because it's like if the EQ is not working for you, because obviously it's a baseline. If the EQ is not working for you, this is what I want you to do. So 5, 2, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Now, the reason why I have this like a lower EQ now, normally I have it a little higher depending on the game, is because this is something that you could self-adjust the most. And the reason why is because certain games will allow certain highs to be more pronounced and some of them not. So this is the highest of highs, and obviously you want that in distance for audio clarity, especially if you're playing a game like Warzone. If you're playing a game like Cold War, it's not that important. You could drop it down a bit so it doesn't burn your ears out. Or if you're playing like Rainbow Six Siege, it's more close quarters. So yeah, this will help you like hearing stuff in the distance if you turn it up a bit for like certain crunch sounds or like loud flashbang sounds or whatever going off. But you know, like it's just something that you could constantly play with on your setup. And the reason why I say that is because every game is different in terms of that high. So everything else you could keep at a baseline. I think you're fine with this, especially through like from here, or no, I'm sorry, from here on is good. But the low bass sounds right here, where you get the deep bass, and then you get one that are like a certain type of bass where it's like a more like a punchy bass, but this is more of like a deep fucking thud. Those two, I would say you could adjust higher or lower depending on game, but definitely keep an eye on this one to raise just a little bit. This one you could kind of just go a little bit up or maybe one down, but I wouldn't go much more than that depending on the games. But again, Warzone is like my main game, if you don't know, and primarily this shit is up to like 7. And the reason why is because that low bass is so hard to hear with how poorly designed the game is in terms of audio. So this one I would adjust as much as you need to, but again, this is just a baseline to start with entirely, and then from there, play your game, listen to people running around, have a friend run around in a circle or run around a building or something, and just kind of get like pinpoint audio of like what's going on. So this is what I set with. Okay, this is what I set with as other FPS, and normally I play any game, and this is usually just fine. But again, it's usually this one that I randomly would just go in and just throw up or down real quick. Simple as that. Mixer, this is where obviously we talked about this before, but I always tell you custom mode. Make sure it's on custom mode. Check your Synapse every time you start up your PC or whatever. I wouldn't say if it saves a profile to your sound card, don't worry about it. It's already set and done. It's saved. But if you're on PC and you trigger your software to trigger Synapse, which that's what happens on PC, you're going to want to set this to custom mode because it always goes back to game mode. Set THX Spatial on. Remember, I've talked about this before, but click it and then click it again if you don't feel like it's triggering. But I think that problem's been fixed now. I haven't really had to do that, but I still do it just as a habit. Doesn't hurt to do it. I would just say do it just in case, and then put it to manual mode. And then every game, now I'm going to talk about this, listen carefully. Every game's on custom, as you can see. But when you're playing solos, utilize THX competitive mode. Now, I haven't used it in a while because custom mode is still that fucking good. It's just it's literally this right here. It gives you the exact pinpoint. This is why I say set your circles like this, your dots, because that's going to give you the best depiction of audio where it's at. But it's giving you, custom mode is also giving you your natural EQ sound for fucking, you know, whatever game you're playing with THX Spatial. So the reason why I say use competitive when you're playing solos, because I know a lot of people have been bugged out about the tinny sound. I just think it's a software bug that they never got to addressing, and I don't think they really even care to address it. They haven't really told me anything much about why that's happening, but I already know, just by listening, I could just tell it's some kind of effect from expanding the audio, and it's triggering into party chat and stuff like that, where it gives you that tinny, like you're in a bathroom sound from people talking. Like people are talking, it sounds like they're in a bathroom or like they're at a distance, and it sounds like it's like kind of like hello. Like it's weird, very weird, like depiction of audio that happens when people are talking. But in my opinion, just leave it custom if you want the best audio quality. But if you really want to use THX competitive or environmental, you're gonna want to use it playing solo. So you don't talk to anybody, but you do hear the benefits. That's it. So when I play solo matches, Warzone, THX competitive. Simple as that. Easy for me. But when I'm playing like, you know, anything else, like with friends or whatever. What I'm trying to get at is with friends or whatever, and I'm using my mic, then obviously I'm gonna put it at custom. So very straightforward on that one. And then now I want to pull up my sounds. And then when we get done with sounds, we're going to talk about setting up your troubleshooting issues going on. So I know I'm telling you, I'm tired, man. You got to work with me, guys. So speakers, I have Razer Blackshark V2 Pro. I told you I'm having issues with that. Very frustrating, but we're working on that. And hopefully Synapse does finally pick it up. Because again, as you can see, Windows does, but not Synapse. So that's the big issue. I have my monitor has small speakers on it. I don't use them really, but I just have it ready just in case. You could disable it if you have the same thing. If you don't use your speakers, just disable it. It probably helps you, but I always, tend to hop around from here to there. If I'm listening to something on YouTube or whatever, or Twitch, I'll just throw on this as the audio device, so that way I don't have to switch over to my Bluetooth speaker that I love so much, but just because of that. Everything else not plugged in, so obviously that's just your ports. You have AMD high definition audio device. Just leave all of that not plugged in. Don't touch it. Just don't touch anything like that. But your Realtek digital output, or if you have anything that's a digital output, put that to ready. Or I guess it's just enable or disable. I think when you enable it, it'll say ready. Leave it ready. That's your drivers for your audio. That's very, very important. I know a lot of people just disabled everything and it would be like, oh, my audio sounds like weird. Enable it. Keep it ready, but not as a default. Your default device is going to be your THX Spatial audio. Okay, that's your default device. Default communications device is depending on what you're using for a mic. This is the reason why I have this set as this right now in playback, is because I do use this mic in game. And oh yeah, before I continue with that, if you have aux, if you're using the aux version like the Blackshark V2X, plug that into your computer and then set the internal aux jack as your THX Spatial audio setup. If that's not working, then THX Spatial has a bug with the drivers of using your 3.5mm jack. That's something that, again, being a beta software, you're just going to have to wait and test it out, but you don't have to utilize it. You can still try THX Spatial audio, but that's just a different entirety in itself. So that's going through specifically Synapse, which might work, but it might not register. So like I said, but this one I haven't tested, and I probably will test because I can with this, but I've never really tried to test it. But I leave it ready just because I'm one of these days just plug it in and see what happens, just to try it. It might be even better THX Spatial. I don't know yet though, so bear with me on that. But anyways, I leave it ready. You could disable that for now if you're not using it. It helps so much if you cut off a lot of things that are not necessary. But I'm gonna leave it ready just because I do want to test it. So recording. This is where you can see that it's registering my Razer Siren Mini as my default communications device. That's what you guys hear me with. That's what people hear me with in majority of the games I play, but obviously I still have Razer USB sound card registering as a default device. But default communications device obviously is your microphone. Default device, USB sound card. That's if you're only using the headset's mic, that would be your default communications device as well. So like I said, or third party, whatever your third party microphone is. But other than that, then you got like my camera that has a microphone on it too. That's disabled. Blackshark V2 Pro disabled. Everything else not plugged in, and the stereo mix, Realtek audio. I have not seen any issues of this being disabled or not, but what I'm doing is leaving it ready just in case it has something to do with drivers bugging out. I don't want to cause any issues, so I just leave it ready. But this is what I have set up, and so far everything's been working perfect, and I haven't had issues with THX at all since this. So when I clicked on sounds, that sounded weird. It literally cut my audio out though. It was like, Windows is like, what's going on here? But no, all this right here, Windows default, I don't have that set up. I don't have any extra optimizations or anything going on. So leave it be like that. And then communications, make sure it's do nothing. Some people have this, like reduce the volume of their sounds by 80%. That will also cause bugs in games. So just do nothing. That way it won't automatically adjust the volume of different sounds. Don't do it. Just do nothing. Okay. So that's pretty much it right now in terms of troubleshooting. Hold on, let me switch back over to Razer Synapse. But the way I troubleshoot is like the most important thing you do. There is a setting in here, if I remember exactly where it's at, but there is a setting in here where you could. Oh God, where is it at though? I haven't done it in a while because normally I just do it the old-fashioned way. But the old-fashioned way is like the best way, so that's why I'm holding on to it. But there is a way you could go in and you could literally reset everything. I would say it's this, but it's not this. It will say a factory reset will restore all the profiles, but some stuff still won't register. So what I'm trying to do is relearn the basics of Razer Cinemas upon. No, don't worry about that. What I'm trying to say is like you can reset something if it's not working properly entirely. Just reset it, and then it'll set it over to factory, and then you can start and just fix all the profiles again. But what I'm trying to get at is there's actually a way in there where you could completely. I don't remember where it's at. I think it could be. I don't know. Just bear with me. But I know there's a setting in here where you could literally go in and you could full clean everything and then reinstall it all on the spot. And I don't know why it's not popping up now. I'm truly just lost of where it's at. I know there's a way for it. You could check for updates. I think it's probably under check for updates. I could be wrong. It could be somewhere in here. But I know you could go in and reset everything. I just wish I could find it for you right now. I know it's in here, but yeah, I'm telling you, their beta software is really like finicky right now, and I'm glad just everything's working right now. No problems there, but as you can see, I can't find it. It's just baffling for me. But anyways, so that's priority one, is just uninstalling. Like not uninstalling, but like refreshing everything that's on there. It'll just say like, oh, checking for updates, whatever, refreshes your product and you're good to go. That could also help fix issues that's not being detected. But that's number one. Number two is literally looking up the firmware. So Razer Siren Mini, let's just hypothetically say Razer Siren Mini, right? Let's just say all of a sudden this just is having issues out of nowhere. Weird, right? It happens sometimes. It happens with all kinds of shit. Trust me, not just Razer products. It happens everywhere. But this just say hypothetically the Razer Siren Mini is giving me issues, right? That means that it's probably out of date in terms of the drivers. But the thing is, the Razer Synapse software does not update your drivers. It just plugs in your stuff and connects it to Synapse so you can customize it. But that's one feature they do need to add, is the firmware updates. So again, beta software, nothing you can do about that. But priority, make sure you find that firmware for every single product that needs to be updated and do it. And that's what happened with my Razer Huntsman Mini. Drivers are out of date, caused bugs. It was literally causing bugs for my Windows entirely. It was almost like I couldn't even log in fast to my computer because I'd always have to wait to see if it would just bypass the bug. Didn't even know that was the reason why that was happening, so it was crazy. But now we know it's just a software, probably needs a firmware update, and we're good. But check your firmware updates. Check all of them. Sorry. Didn't realize I was just showing you my home screen. That's how tired I am. But I just want to get this video out quick. So also, if the firmware updates doesn't solve the issue, uninstall, and then this is the best I've figured out, uninstall and reinstall Razer. Don't fret about your profiles. Don't fret about anything you have set up, because when you fresh install Razer Synapse, you will get all your stuff saved from the cloud and it'll be reloaded back onto your products. So pretty straightforward. And I understand everyone has questions about certain games, EQs and whatnot. I will be there to answer them in a timely manner. Just ask me and say, hey, have you got anything figured out for the CSGO EQ settings or Valorant EQ settings, whatever. Just ask me in the chat section, the comment section, and I'll try to update you as best as I can. I'm, like I said, I'm a really busy guy and I got a lot going on. But I'm definitely working on talking with Razer about stuff and getting everything figured out. So far, I love the products. I've never had any caveats until just recently. So, Black Shark V2, and it's weird how it happened because it's like the Black Shark V2 screwed up and then the Huntsman Mini screwed up, like just like back to back, like instantaneously. It wasn't even back to back; it was like simultaneously, just perfectly on the spot. So, unfortunately, it happens, but this is why I have backups, because I was already prepared. If anything were to ever happen with whatever I was using, I always have something to back me up, like the Basilisk Ultimate right here, and then I have a Basilisk V2. So, always good to have a backup. Period. But yeah, if you have questions, you know what to do. You could ask me. I do respond. I just want to let you guys know that there is a lot of frustration, and I get it with Razer software. It's understandable. I think they should have went the better route, made their software a little more basic, and took care of it better. Just kind of like what Logitech does in SteelSeries and whatnot, Corsair too. they kind of dumb down their software, and it works. And there's issues that they have too. I mean, it's not just us, but Razer does have a weird way of trying to acknowledge their situation and address it. However, the headset's better than any Logitech headset I've tested and seen. The mouses are better than any Logitech or SteelSeries mouse that I've seen. Like everything's just better. Better tech, better quality, better everything. Especially with the V2 series, I think Razer's on the King's list. It's literally the top list. So I definitely recommend any Razer product to anybody. And I just know that I was once in your shoes where I was frustrated about trying to find solutions to these problems, and I finally got to a point where like you have to just research yourself and do it, and this is what I've come up with. And I haven't had problems since I've done all this. So like I said, it's just the keyboard situation came out of thin air, which was weird, but I guess it was like what was causing my Windows little bug for a while in terms of startup, which is cool to know because now I haven't seen it. But that happened just at a random spot playing a new game. And then obviously now my Black Shark V2 Pro was just not connecting to Synapse after I did a fresh install of Razer Synapse to, get everything nice and just balanced. And that's what happened. It just kind of bugged itself out, and now it's not detecting it. I did update firmware on the Black Shark V2 Pro. I have not done it on the Huntsman Mini, which I will, but it is up to date. So now Synapse just needs to recognize that it's plugged in, and that has been an issue. They know that too, so they're aware of the connection issues. But just you got to stay patient with Razer software. The products are great. It's just the software. So just bear in mind that you have a great quality stuff. And I know, again, like I said, everyone's got this, like, I see it a lot. People are getting frustrated with how things work and stuff, but it's really like they kind of left you out of the loop in the technical side of it, where it's like, oh, we kind of like we're going to tell you how to do this and that, but they really give you like the basics, and then you have to just contact customer service because it's like kind of getting ridiculous. But here I am trying to give you the best that I can help in terms of your situation. Remember, troubleshooting, very ideal. Google has a lot of answers too for that, but it's just very, very weird, very finicky, and it's never anything set in stone about your specific product. So hopefully maybe I can make a community up where everyone's using a certain, which would be really cool and really communicative, and people will probably join in and have fun, but make like a community, probably in the Discord community. If you don't have Discord, join it, please. We could probably do something with that, where you guys could like technically come in and just be like, I found something about this, try this out, see if this works better, what if that works better, blah, blah, blah. Do something like that. You might enjoy it. You know what I mean? So you might enjoy it, and you might help others out. And I think that's the goal here, is just to help each other out and just try to stay as positive as we can. I've had a few frustrating nights these past couple nights trying to get everything set up properly, and it's just been quite irritating. So hopefully, in terms of streams and whatnot, let's hopefully have a good stream tonight, and have possibly a 24-hour stream in the next few days. I think I'm going to go for a 24-hour stream and really just fucking crack down on some content. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's nothing special, but it is a small update. Hopefully it gets you guys cleared up on a little bit of things. Hopefully you guys could just copy and paste my settings, see if that helps. If it does not help, then message me. We could talk about what's going on. Maybe you could, like, again, Discord community is so important because you could send me pictures on there of what your setup is in terms of sound control profile and whatnot. You could send me pictures, and I could tell you, okay, try this, try that, disable this, enable that. You know what I mean? Just best thing you could do is join the Discord community. I'll try to link it in my my description, and we're setting everything up. Again, even my stream is not fully set up, so just gotta have patience. I've been a really busy guy, but I'm trying my best here. So hopefully you enjoy. I'm out. Follow, like, and subscribe is appreciated. Take it easy. You guys have a good one.